What's going on, creators? Anthony here, and in this video we're going to talk about rotoscoping in CapCut. Rotoscoping is a really helpful tool for taking the subject of a clip, removing the background, allowing us to place objects like text and graphics behind the subject, giving our video a more three-dimensional feel. So let's dive in. Okay, so here we are in CapCut, and I actually have this Instagram reel that we created in a previous video training on CapCut where we talked about animating text. Definitely watch that if you haven't already. These are the 5 essential apps I use every day as a content creator and entrepreneur. You should use them too. Cool, so pretty basic text with little animations, but what a lot of people will do with their Instagram content or TikTok content is they'll place that text behind the subject's head just slightly. It gives a cool kind of trendy look to the content. Now, all we need to do this is create a new layer where we cut myself out from the video. So to do this, we'll take our main layer, hold Option or Alt on your keyboard, drag that layer up, and now we have our new layer. This will be our subject cutout. This will be our text that is sandwiched in between another video layer that's essentially serving as the background. Now, all we need to do is come up to this top layer. And actually, before I do that, I'll just turn this bottom background off. It will help to drive home what's actually happening. So we've got this selected. We'll come to Cutout, scroll down, and hit Auto Cutout. Now you can see right away, it's just removed me from the background, and it did a pretty good job, which is, I think, super cool that they made this so easy to do in CapCut. And so that's our video, and you can see if I turn this bottom layer back on, it just brings the background back into the video. And now we can take our text, which is behind the subject, right? This is the subject cutout, and the text is on a layer beneath that. And because of that, it basically means it's behind that. So all we have to do is basically take our text. We've got it selected here. We want to make sure Apply to All is checked on in the Text tab, and we can bring the text up and see, look how it's actually behind my head, which is pretty cool. Now I'm just going to do it right around there. So it's just slightly behind my head. That's kind of the trend right now. And because I had Apply to All checked, it's also moved all the other text, and that looks pretty good all the way through. Maybe we bring it down just a little bit more, like there. And then this last one, I think, is just one size too big. So we'll select it. We'll uncheck Apply to All because I only want to affect this text layer. And then we'll bring the font size down to 17. That looks pretty good. All right. Not bad at all. Now, if you look at that, you might think, great, ready to post. But if you have a very good eye for detail, you'll notice actually right here with my hand, we're getting some funkiness. And that's because if I disable this layer, the mask just doesn't do a wonderful job around my hand. And that's just because there's motion blur around the hand. It's hard to get a perfect cutout. Now, we can actually solve this by using a very powerful tool in video editing called a mask. Now, what a mask is basically a selective portal in your video where everything inside that portal is deleted or everything outside the portal is deleted. And you'll know exactly what I mean when we actually throw it on the clip. So we've got our top layer selected here. We'll come to mask. I want to use a circular mask. So when I hit that, look, right away, it's like we drew a portal and only what's within that portal is now visible. If I wanted the opposite, I could come over here to reverse, and now it's kind of deleting everything inside the mask, and wherever I move it, you can see it's just kind of deleting all that. Now, I don't want this. I want to actually reverse it back because all we need from this kind of subject cutout layer is my head, because the text is going to be behind my head. Every other area of this mask is essentially non-essential. We don't need it because if we re-enable this, all that stuff is already there in the main background. So watch what happens when we take this mask and just turn it off. Look at that. All the weird stuff came back in the hand because the whole subject mask is there, and that's just naturally what it's going to be like. But if we turn the mask on, remember, the only part of the subject cutout that's showing through is only what's inside. So all this weirdness is gone. And if we play through now, it'll all look good. These are the 5 essential apps I use every day as a content creator and entrepreneur. You should use them too. Very clean mask. I think we've absolutely crushed this. No weirdness whatsoever. So we will move on to the next example, which is a YouTube style video. Now here we actually have an intro to one of our YouTube videos. I'll play through it really quick. We're about to cover more smartphone filmmaking accessories than any other video ever has. If you shoot YouTube videos, social media content, travel videos, commercials, and more, these accessories are guaranteed to improve the look of your content. Okay, cool. So there's the intro. I only want to use this effect on a small part. So I'm going to create a cut in the video where I want it to start. If you shoot YouTube videos, so where it says if you shoot. Now I'm just going to use my keyboard shortcut and hit Command B. And now you can see it's created a cut point. So we have two different sections. Now let's see where we want the effect to stop. If you shoot YouTube videos, social media content, travel videos, commercials, and more, these accessories are right here where it says and more. Okay, cool. So what I want to do now is select this clip. We'll hold Option or Alt and then duplicate it by dragging it up. So that will be our subject cutout layer. We'll come over to video, cutout, and hit auto cutout. Now it's processing and it should be done in just a second, which is good. You can't really see that much happen, but if we turn this bottom layer off, you will be able to see it has pretty much cut me out. What I want to do here is use one of my most used motion backgrounds, which is like this animated crumpled paper. I actually got this from contentcreatortemplates.com. So we will bring this down and drag it just like the text layer in the previous example between the two layers here. So now we have the cutout and a background. I kind of want to clean this up though and make some space. So we will bring the cutout down to the bottom left and that will bring it up a little bit. There we go. I think that looks good. Now what I want to do here is basically make an animated text graphic for every one of those buckets I said. If you remember back, I said YouTube videos, social media content, travel videos, commercials, and more. So I want to have graphics pop up on screen for all of those. Now we can actually turn the background back on. It doesn't really matter. I'll take this and just trim the background to match how long I want this effect to be. And now we need to bring some text on. So come up to the text tool, default, drag this down to the timeline. We'll make it red. And I want to change it to resolve. I like that one a lot. So we'll go YouTube videos, make it a little smaller. I want to animate this text. So we'll select it, come up to animation. And one that I've been using a lot lately is this bounce left. So we'll select that. And it just showed you a little preview of what it looks like. The text is going to bounce up on the frame. So pretty cool. Let's just get it timed up. So right as I start to say YouTube videos, I've paused the video and we'll drag this here. If you shoot YouTube videos. Cool. Now we have the next one, which is social media content. So I'm going to hit Option or Alt on my keyboard, drag this up, and then move it forward. Social media content. And now we can't really see much because they're overlapping here. So if I drag this new layer down, that is the duplicate. And this one should say social media.
If you shoot YouTube videos, social media content.
Next is travel. So we'll duplicate it again, bring it down, and we want this to say travel videos.
Social media content, travel videos.
That actually came a little late. We'll bring it forward.
Social media content, travel videos.
Commercials was next, right about here. Whoops. Commercials. You can see we actually need to extend these, right? Because now they've disappeared. So that brings YouTube videos back. We're good. Commercials and got one more. It's got to say and more with a big exclamation point. And more. And then we'll take these guys and trim them down. There we go. Now we can play through it and get an idea of how it looks.
If you shoot YouTube videos, social media content, travel videos, commercials, and more.
Love that. Very cool.
If you shoot YouTube videos, social media content, travel videos, commercials, and more.
Very cool. If I was a very ultra perfectionist, which I usually tend to be, I would kind of move these a little left. It seemed to be crowding that side of the frame a little bit. That looks better to me. Cool. So there you go. It's really not that complicated once you get into it. And I love doing this because I can just duplicate this over and over again throughout the video, repeating the same style graphic, which saves me time, but also increases viewer retention because people like to see graphics. They like to see stuff pop up in the frame. It keeps them wanting to watch more. So hopefully you found this valuable. Definitely implement it in your own content, and I'll see you in the next video.